Welcome in everybody to the 49ers podcast. I'm your host, Matt Daniel, as always, joined by my co-host, John Gallagher. John, how are we doing today, brother?
Doing well. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm excited to welcome on our guest, Ralph Martinez, aka Lobos FF Den. Ralph, how you doing, my friend?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me on. It's always a blast, and I'm pretty sure I've conversed with both you guys, and it's a pleasure to actually put a face to something other than like the Twitter picture. So
yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yep, you always like see the Twitter page, but actually hearing the words come out of the mouth is a whole different story.
Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, Lobo's a fantasy football and a Dallas Cowboys fan. Unfortunately, luckily, he's a good enough guy that we let him come on anyways. He's a writer for Dynasty Pros and FF Faceoff. His first article is coming out with FF Faceoff this week, right?
Yeah. So, I should have it done by end of day Thursday, probably Friday morning. So.
Okay, yeah, I'm super excited to read that. So we've been following each other for a long time. I've actually always wondered where the name Lobos come from. I get the FF Den part, obviously, but what's the origin?
So, fun fact is, Lobo came, and Lobo for short term is the Hispanic, the Latin version of wolf, and it means wolf. And I come from a family that comes from Spain and Mexico, and I grew my first beard hair at the age of 11. I remember waking up, and it was kind of like in the movies where the hair just kind of like pops up, and you're like, oh shit, what is that? And then like I went to my dad, I'm like, hey, I got a hair, like I'm a man. And he was like, oh man. And he referred to me as Lobito, which means little wolf. And as I grew up, my family started calling me Lobo, and here I am, man. I mean, a long time later, but
that's crazy.
Here I am, and family, friends call me that, and it's just a name that stuck, so I go by it.
Okay, dang, that's a cool story. I didn't think it was gonna have that good of a meaning behind it.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a family name, friend's nickname. Yeah,
I just started being able to grow any sort of facial hair at 25, so it took me a little longer. So what drove you to get into fantasy Twitter?
I've always had the Twitter, and I used it kind of just for the perspective of getting information, of really going on there, and on game day, the ritual that my dad and I have, and it's been going on since I was a kid, is we wake up, we watch from 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. We're watching the pre-games, we're watching the injury reports, we're watching everything. And as of recently, social media has just blossomed in this. And so I started having friends text me and say, hey, like, who should I start on this? Like, who should I start doing this? And I mean, I've been playing fantasy for a long time, and I just said, it'd be really cool to kind of just give this experience to other people. Not that I don't enjoy helping just my friends, but I thought of myself as like, you know what, like let me help other people. And I think it's a lot of fun. And one of my huge guys that motivated me to do this is, and I enjoy watching him on TV, and a lot of these people are it's Michael Fabiano, and he's a huge Marvel fan. He's a huge Star Wars fan, and myself being a huge Marvel, Star Wars, all this stuff. He made it interesting, and I see how much of an impact he has. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I got into this about 3 months ago, and here I am, man. That's kind of what really drove me here.
Cool. And it's great to see you start to get some of the well-deserved recognition, in my opinion. I see your account grow, and it's really, just a great community. When I first started, I was just sucked in by how, welcoming everybody is, and how, encouraging everybody is of each other, just to, I like enjoy it, because it is, a game,
Yeah, I'll tell you, this community's been, it's more than I imagined. I mean, to be honest, coming into it, I actually had a chance to meet some amazing people. I just met up with Coach Bruce the other day. Ironically, we're both here in the Phoenix area. So, if anyone else is in the Phoenix area and you guys want to join me at any time, if you guys ever come to Phoenix, like, let me take you around. Phoenix is awesome, and this is where I'm at, but it's just, I've gotten to meet some amazing people, and not just in the Phoenix area, but I mean, even to meet people like you guys, man. I mean, it's a pleasure to build those relationships.
Right on.
Yeah.
How hot is it in Phoenix right now?
Well, I'll tell you, it's been raining the last week or so, which is to us, but it's about 98 degrees. A week ago, it was 120.
There you go.
That's what we're used to.
Yeah.
Up here in Washington, we hit 117, which is the record for Washington State. But it's cooled down a little bit, thankfully. But we haven't even gotten rain, and we're like known for our rain. So
Yeah.
I don't know where. I'm waiting for it. It needs it. My yard is dying. So, so let's get into the news and the notes. The 49ers have reached a deal with linebacker Fred Warner, a 5-year extension worth more than $95 million. We've all been waiting for it to sign the best linebacker in football, in my opinion. I couldn't be more excited to sign our the captain of our defense to lock him up till 2026. So, John, do you have anything to add about Fred Warner?
It's great. I mean, great pick where we got him, total value. And then, he's blossomed into one of an absolute premier linebacker in the NFL. 100% who you want on your team for a long time. Really glad they got this deal done.
For sure. Deserving of every penny. So,
yes.
Next, we have some more solemn news. Cam Akers, running back for the Los Angeles Rams, tears his Achilles. He is out for the season. Obviously, there's a lot of ramifications that come along with torn Achilles.
Did you mean to say
ramifications? That wasn't even on purpose. So
okay.
Yeah. When I'm in the zone and I'm writing, they just come. I have to think about it. So, so let's get into some of the implications for torn Achilles. So, Lobo, I'll let you take this one. What do you see typically from an NFL player, specifically a running back, and what are the ramifications of a torn Achilles?
I mean, it's huge, man. I actually started doing some research yesterday, and it came out with a lot of people. I mean, I think a lot of people started doing their research as soon as they saw it, and a lot of different opinions. I mean, I saw doctors weighing in on Twitter, kind of saying where it's coming from. But I think the biggest article that I saw was I actually wanted to give this person a shout out because it was a well written chart that kind of just went over some of the actual data pieces, and it really went over. It was Chris Paul Towers, and he tweeted out this picture, and it gave like the last 10 or so, but I'll give the last 5 people who have torn their Achilles and where they are now. Right. So we look at Isaiah Crowell, 2019. After that really good 2017 season, he had a decent 2018, 2019, tore his Achilles, never played another game in his career. Dante Foreman. He actually came back last year and played, and he looked decent. He was a little stash for me in Dynasty last year, and he looked decent in a couple games in Tennessee. But before that, Brendan Oliver, Arian Foster, he was cut midseason after he tore his Achilles and never came back. Joe McKnight and Vic Ballard, Beanie Wells. All these guys are guys that were decent RB2s going in there, and they tore their Achilles. And all those guys that I mentioned never ended up playing a full season after.
Deonta Foreman, when he came out, he was an absolute hammer. Like he looked like he was going to be a very good running back. And when he tore the Achilles, he didn't look the same. No.
And I mean, Cam Akers he's 22. I mean, he was one of the younger backs in the league right now. And obviously a lot of people were excited about him.
Yeah.
What I saw a doctor, and I wish I could have quoted him on it, but he just said, the explosiveness when you tear your Achilles, it's gone. And most of these running backs, you're seeing that explosiveness as soon as they hit the hole, as soon as they're going in there, getting those yards on that initial. If they don't have that, they're getting stacked at the line. I mean, we've seen David Johnson. He lost a lot of his velocity, and he looks like he gets stumped at the line. And hopefully he can recover from it, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's very vital to be productive in the NFL, to be able to be explosive, and you start chipping away at that. It's uphill sledding.
Yep. And I mean, you can hope that, he's going to be the exception to the rule, because he is young. He's only, like you said, he's 21, maybe soon to turn 22. Mm-hmm. So, you kind of do hold out hope that maybe he is going to be the exception to the rule. It kind of seems like that's not really the case. I mean, we'll see what Marlon Mack, because he just tore his Achilles. He's obviously, it's a different story.
He's had a few injuries though too, and he's a little older.
He has, but it seems that with a lot of the guys you were naming, I don't think any of them had the sort of like glow surrounding them that Cam Akers did. Just so many people out there just were confident saying that he was he's a top 5 running back. What he's able to be. I mean, I obviously disagreed with it, but he had people genuinely believe that he was going to be like an elite running back.
Mm-hmm. So for fantasy, I think it was a match. Like, not saying that he has the skill level of Saquon Barkley. Not like that's not. I don't think that's what was being said. But he has a good enough skill level paired with the volume he was going to have with the Rams. That would give you top 5 production in fantasy football. Yeah. But I don't think the argument was like he's Christian McCaffrey 2.0 or he's Saquon Barkley or Alvin Kamara. Like, I don't think that was it. But there was an absolute pairing of volume that was coming his way, and a skill set that he absolutely did have that you were going to get a lot of. I was very excited to see a lot of great production out of him.
Yeah, you never want to see that. I mean, even as 49ers fans, it's still his career,
and it makes our team better.
Yeah. So
yeah,
never want to see that.
Me as a Cowboys fan, man, it pains me to see, and it pains me to say this, but Saquon is one of my favorite players in the NFL.
Absolutely. Yeah. How could he not be?
Yeah. I mean, he's just so dynamic, so explosive. His talent is next. It's out of this world. Yeah. So to see him suffer through the injuries, like whenever we play the Giants, I'm like, damn, it could be Saquon. And I mean, it's just, I'm hopeful that he's healthy this season. So yeah.
It's looking like he's going to be.
So how do you guys think that this is going to change the dynamic of the Rams this year? Do you think that Darrell Henderson's going to step into that workhorse role? Do you expect them to go out and sign somebody, or do you expect it to just be the Stafford show?
I wouldn't be surprised if they signed somebody for depth. I don't think they've signed somebody to then like inherit a role. I do think Darrell Henderson's next man up. I know that they don't have a lot of pieces to like move around to make any kind of real trades or acquisitions for, but like Jamal Williams makes a ton of sense to me if they wanted to reach out for somebody. Other than that, like the free agents that are available, like Adrian Peterson,
Todd Gurley.
Okay. No, I think he's got a 1 year with the Ravens.
Todd Gurley?
Yeah.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, I think he signed a 1 year with them.
I think that was I'm pretty sure it was like a parody account.
Oh, did I get got?
Yeah, you got, bro.
Oh no! And then I got caught. Yeah. I got got and caught.
You just got.
Got caught and caught. No, my credibility has been torn to shreds.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you got because I got when someone tweeted Aaron Rodgers was coming back and it was confirmed. And I called my buddy who was a Packers fan. And I was like, dude, he's coming back. And he's like, where are you seeing this? And I was like, shit.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then maybe Gurley. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Gurley would be my first thought, just because he already knows the offense and
but they used Henderson a lot last year too, and I don't think that there's any reason to go away from that. But it wouldn't surprise me if it is just a little more pass happy. And they've got Stafford, they've got Cups, they've got Woods. I think I said Cups. It's just one cup. Just one cup. But they are poised to have a really great passing attack with Matt Stafford slinging it. So I don't think the offense regresses a lot overall, but I do think that they are going to lose a bit of like the powerhouse that they would have had if they were able to use both Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson.
Yep. I think so.
I was gonna say it'll be interesting to see how they do roll that out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think the fantasy ramifications are deeper than like the real NFL ramifications. Just because I think the Rams are still going to be a good team. Right. The only thing is, it's probably not going to be as efficient on the ground as what they wanted to. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully he can bounce back, but
I don't know.
It's
a rough one.
Yeah, it's tough. And I will say one more free agent guy who I believe has a chance to be with the Rams is Duke Johnson. Johnson.
I did read that.
Yeah, Duke Johnson, I think would fit that offense perfectly. Cam Akers he was a receiving back as well. Towards the end, he started getting some receptions in there, started getting some targets. And Darrell Henderson is and Darrell Henderson has been the ground and pound guy. That's what he was there for last year. I think one of the games that Cam Akers did go out, he carried the ball over 25 times. Yeah. He's going to be the ground and pound guy. I think Duke can be that change of pace back. So
yeah, and Duke's been trying to get a role.
Like he's been trying
one with the Browns, and they're like, "No, we'll just trade you." And then he won with the Texans, and then the Texans went with a really stacked committee. And then I know he wants to play.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure they'll bring someone. Le'Veon Bell's another name I've seen thrown around. None of them are really.
In the tank there?
Probably not, but I mean, you never know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't think any of them really have. I don't think it's going to be anybody that like would matter because they don't really have.
There's not a ton of upside.
They don't have the ability to trade they have no capital to be able to go get a guy.
Right.
Because I've seen James Robinson's name thrown out there, which would be crazy. I don't think it'll happen, but
that would be crazy.
Are you guys ready to do some quarterback?
They don't like James Robinson is 1,000-yard running back. I don't think they'd have anything like how late of a what year is it that they have a first round pick?
Probably like 2027.
Yeah, so like
yeah. Honestly, it's like
I don't
so
think they
outrageous.
can leverage that.
Yeah, it's far. Let's get into some quarterback tiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The reason everybody's here today.
Yes.
First up on the board, we're happy to have a third person because when we did the last two,
we need some tiebreakers.
We needed a tiebreaker, so
yeah,
this will be a lot better. Starting off with Josh Allen. So Lobo, I'll let you take this one. Where would you put him? For those listening on Apple Podcast, our tiers are elite, great, good, average, below average, and bad. If we do want to add in another tier, if we feel like there's too many guys in one tier, we can do that as well. But that's where we're at for now.
Cool. Ooh, you're tugging my heartstrings with Josh Allen. Huge Josh Allen guy. And I want to start off by saying, I mean, I drafted him in my first dynasty. The first time I started playing dynasty was his rookie year. And I remember drafting him and being so stoked and then seeing him perform his first year. And I was like, shit, I think I messed up. So
hopefully you didn't trade him away.
No, I didn't. I kept him.
Okay.
I kept him. I believed in him.
Right.
And I think we saw him take that huge step this year.
Yeah.
I would put him in great.
Yeah.
I would put him in great. The reason I'm not going elite just yet is he's got to prove it one more year. I think he's got to. I mean, that completion percentage shot up by 15% from year 3 to year 4, and that typically doesn't happen. And we saw him a few games kind of crack under pressure a little bit when we saw the old Josh Allen and that completion percentage shot down. We saw him kind of throw 3 interceptions, and we've seen that. So I think he falls into the great category. If he comes out and just balls this year, which I hope he does, because I got him in a lot. I want to say about 75% of my dynasty leagues. If he can do that, then he goes up to elite.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If he can do it again, that's I think it only takes one more year for him to be an elite quarterback. The accuracy was really the only question we had. We know that he had the the tangibles to be elite. He just had to bring it all together. So
yeah, 100%. His production and his level of play has been absolutely great. And his size, his strength, his arm power, like those things, he has all the skill sets to be elite. It's just it's a matter of just doing it a little bit more.
Consistency. He's got to do it. Yeah.
Yep. Next we got the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. What do you guys? How you guys feeling? This one's tough because this one is just this year, not fantasy. This is just what you contribute to the NFL. So how do you guys? What's the outlook for Tom Brady for you guys?
Still put him at elite.
You think so? Elite?
Who's cutting up the defenses like him still? Like if you're talking about what he can offer a team, like if him at the helm of a quarterback meeting or a defensive meeting still is incredibly valuable. So maybe he's not like, with the Patriots, Tom Brady, throwing for all those yards with either, Edelman, Gronk, or Moss, but he's still Tom Brady. He's still like a mastermind NFL player.
I agree on the elite for certain perspectives. I will say I would have him in great. And here's the main reason. Over the past 3 years, his deep ball has gone down quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And we see some of the statistical reasonings behind it. Obviously, the man is like, he's what, 45 this year, right?
I believe so.
Holy smokes, man. The fact that he can do it, I just think the biggest factor for not putting him in elite is his age. I mean, he's great, and I think he's got the ability to do so, but he's also got 2 really good running backs, and I'm a huge Rojo guy, so to have Rojo and Leonard Fournette, I do think they do a little bit more of a ground and pound this year, and they went and got Gio Bernard.
But we're talking Evans, Godwin, and AB also. Like in that offense, he's poised to be incredibly productive all over again and not turn the ball over. Like those are still elite things for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have him in great. I'll be the tiebreaker.
There's the tiebreaker.
I think he is, he's still Tom Brady, just like what he brings, not even, physically, just mentally what he's able to do. His ability to diagnose defenses isn't going to get worse as he gets older, So, and what he does, he doesn't really have to throw the ball downfield much. It's more about reading, getting the ball out quick. That's something that's why he's been able to be so good for so long, is because those are things that don't really age. So it's just hard for me to go elite. I might be willing to move him up depending on who else we put there once everything stacks out. But for now, I think I'm good with great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
A little bit lower of a tier.
I guess average fair.
Yeah, I'm between average and below average.
Okay.
I'll be the tiebreaker on average.
Okay.
I think some of the
little
pieces,
above below.
Yeah. I mean, he can carry the offense a little bit. I think his completion percentage it kind of makes up for it a little bit. And not too long ago, I tweeted some of his red zone efficiencies. He's actually in the top 10 on some of the throws that he makes in the red zone. So with that, I would say he's average. You know, he's not going to do anything great, but he'll get you through 4 quarters.
Not going to set the league on fire, but you know he's going to be a game manager. You know, and that's
where do you guys
more
have
than some
him?
people can do.
Do you guys have him with more of an edge over Drew Lock in Denver, or where do you guys see that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think because of the experience piece, he's got it. I'm a huge Drew Lock guy. Him coming out of college, I thought he'd be phenomenal, and he has struggled, and I'm hoping that Teddy can kind of light that fire a little bit. But
that'd be good. I'm pro Drew Lock. I want to see him ball out.
Yeah, maybe a good old friendly camp battle will light the fuse for him.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett,
below average.
Yeah. I don't think we can put him anywhere between not bad or below average. Any oppositions to below average, John? You good with that?
I don't have a ton to say about Brissett.
Okay, let's just move on. Joe Burrow.
Oh man.
This one's tough because we've seen
I'm ready to put him in great. I'm ready to put him in great. What he did with the Bengals offense, who just looked like wet tissue paper blocking him, and he was still slinging it clean. He looked like he had everything. If you just plugged him into any other situation, it looked like he was going to throw for 4,000 and fucking at least 30 touchdowns.
I definitely lean good on this one.
Okay.
But you can be the tiebreaker, Lobo.
Oh man, I'm leaning towards good, and reason being is, I mean, we saw him in college. I thought he was phenomenal, and obviously he's got a lot of talent. The reason I'm putting him in good is we don't know health wise how ready he'll be, and I think that football is obviously half the skill set and size and everything, but it's also a mind game. And I think him coming back from a massive injury like that, what does his confidence look like? They didn't improve that O-line. He's going to have a lot of pressure. Does that mess with his head?
They did a little bit. I thought that they didn't as well, and I was really, really low on him. They have made some moves that are better for the O-line.
Oh, good. Well, I'd be curious. I hope by the end of the season he's in that great status. I would love to see him continue that.
Yeah. I think that the reason, the biggest push I have for him being in good is the fact that we have Tom Brady and Josh Allen in great, and I definitely not ready to put Joe Burrow on that level. And if we are, then I feel like we need to move Josh Allen to great, elite, because if we've seen 8 games from Joe Burrow, so
But
I think
as a rookie, what we saw him do was really impressive, and none of the deficiencies I saw were Joe Burrow based. They were Bengals offense based. They were O-line based. And he's just he looks like a stud around just nobody really working for him. And so I just saw a lot of talent that I'm really, really impressed with.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has the upside to be an elite quarterback. But I just think it's a little too soon.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, Mr. Eyeliner himself.
He, in my eyes, he should fall under average. He does the bare minimum. He's not a flashy guy. There's not high upside to him. He's going to get you some games, and he's going to win those games. He would fall on average for me.
I would say because he wins a little bit, it makes him good. He had a trajectory where I would have considered him kind of a great quarterback. He did a lot for the Raiders, but then he got injured, and he kind of fell off. But he's not. I don't think he loses them games. So that makes you a little better than average for me.
Yeah, I definitely lean between good and average. If there was a tier in between, that's where I would put him.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to put him in average for now. and then see how these tiers fill out, and I might end up moving him up.
Yeah.
Just depends on who, because like this is a perfect bridge right here. Kirk Cousins. So for me,
I think he's good.
I think he's in between good and great, in my opinion. I'm a big Kirk Cousins fan.
I think he falls on good.
He's good.
He's another guy that reminds me kind of the Derek Carr situation where he's not going to be super flashy at times, just does the bare minimum, and I think that's kind of where that is. But because we are putting Kirk Cousins in the good, that makes me want to put Derek Carr in good, because
Me too.
yeah, like that like if I'm comparing Kirk Cousins to Derek Carr on my fantasy team, who do I want more? I'm flipping a coin.
Yeah,
really. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But they're both good.
To me, there's a huge gap, and I have Kirk Cousins in a tier above for sure for me. I mean, he's basically done nothing but throw for both. I mean, fantasy way more, definitely Kirk Cousins.
Right, he's got cooler weapons.
Yeah.
But real life, I still have him in a tier above. I mean, he's basically done nothing but throw for 4,000 yards. You know what I mean? You know, an average quarterback doesn't really do that.
I agree.
You know, but I think good is the right spot for him. And I don't think he's like so much better than Derek Carr, but I think he is, you know, a little bit better. Dak Prescott. This one will be interesting.
I mean, great, right? He's great.
I think he's great. I mean, it's between great and elite for me.
He looked like he was about to put up an elite year last year. I mean, those first few games were fucking fireworks shows.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got a skill set that can do it. He suffered an injury that absolutely sucked, but it shouldn't hinder quarterback play or like, you know, him getting better. So what I saw was lights out awesome. Right now I'm okay saying he's great, but I wouldn't be surprised if that offense just looks, you know, next level next year and we're talking about him as an elite quarterback.
Yeah, no, I think he's trending in that direction, and he's been one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league since he joined. And this guy was expected to be a backup to Tony. And I think, I mean, we've seen him do nothing but great things. And I think after this year, I mean, I've even had some projections where I have him ending his QB1 just because of the tools that he has in Dallas. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I mean that in a sense of, I mean, they've got so many weapons, and Jarwin's coming back this year. Zeke is a pass catching back. Tony Pollard is too. The man can throw it to anybody on that field. So, yeah.
I have zero.
Oh, well, go for it.
I was going to say, I have no doubt. I mean, I would not be surprised in the slightest if he does finish the quarterback one.
Yeah.
Just tools plus, you know, the skill set that he has. It's definitely possible.
I was always interested in the Cowboys fan divide in terms of who they feel like they can root for more. And like, oh, it's Zeke's offense. And like, no, Dak makes Zeke. Like, no, Zeke makes Dak. And like, so where do you fall there?
I'll tell you. Dak makes Zeke, and it was proven last year.
Yeah.
You know, I was a big Zeke guy. I am a big Zeke guy, but Zeke had his statistically worst season ever. And that was the first time that he's really ever played without Dak. And defenses just knew how to stop him, man. First season under 1,000 yards other than his suspension and all these pieces. But Dak absolutely makes Zeke.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a good quarterback can play without a good running back, you know, but if you're a good running back and your quarterback is zero threat whatsoever, speaking of Andy Dalton, you know, you're going to be able to stop him.
I get that. I like it.
So into Andy Dalton.
The red rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, right now. So we're saying right now. I mean, his whole career
this is right now.
is kind of average for me, but like right now, that's a below average.
He's below average. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sammy D, Sam Darnold. This one's tough for me because, you know,
we usually have a wait and see.
We do have wait and see. I didn't do it for this one just to entice some, you know, make the hard decision.
Make a bold claim. I like it.
Yeah, because it's like almost like a get out of jail free card. And I was like, there's three of us. We got a tiebreaker now. You know, let's make a bold claim about Sam Darnold. Elite.
I think he's at least good, but he's been running with lead shoes in that Adam Gase offense. So I'm excited to see what he does in Carolina.
I mean, he's been bad, but so little of it was his fault, in my opinion.
I would say he's been average, and so little of it's been his fault.
I don't know. He's been pretty bad at times. Bad. Like the seeing ghosts quote, he's been pretty bad. I want to say, I mean, raw talent, he has it.
Yeah.
I think so too.
But we've literally never really seen it applied. Minus like we've all seen that play where he's like bootlegging, he throws across his body, like making a perfect throw. You're like, man, he could be so good, but that's like one clip, you know. So for me, it's between average and below average, just because that's what we've seen.
Well, I'm not going to put him below because I think talent's there. So I'm okay with average.
Average.
But I think he's good.
I think by the end of the season, he's got the potential. Now that he's got the weapons, he can absolutely be in that good status and really just make a name for himself there in Carolina.
For sure. And there's a reason that Adam Gase is the assistant offensive coordinator at a high school right now. So
I'm glad he's not in the NFL anymore. But I hope he doesn't ruin a whole, young crop that could have a promising future. Like, and he gets in their head early and gives them the worst fundamentals.
I have to imagine he at least has enough knowledge to be a high school coach. Like I can't imagine that he doesn't.
I hope so.
Fitzmagic
really low on Adam Gase.
Fitzmagic is good. That's where he would fall with me.
Solid good too. Like,
good?
Like really,
I was gonna say average.
Like hard good. No, he's better than average because he's shown up in some games.
When that guy averages more than I want to say the number that I saw was if he averages more than 30 pass attempts a game, he's averaging more than 320 yards passing, which is a crazy stat to think about because that's an average of more than 10 yards per reception. And just he's a baller. Honestly, he's good.
He is a baller. I mean, it's just sort of like the gunslinger thing.
Yeah.
Where like his stats look so good, but it's like, is he a good NFL quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm fine with good. I think he's right in between good and average for me, but I'm fine with that.
I think he's in the good.
Yeah, he's hard for me.
Flacco?
Yeah.
They all said?
Who did he just sign with? The Eagles, right?
I think
the Eagles, yeah. Oh, he's bad. Oh, he's so bad.
He's got to be bad. If anyone on this list is bad, it's Joe Flacco.
If there was a trash pile, he'd go right in it. There's no way.
Yeah, I think we're good with that. Nick Foles.
Good leadership. I would just say average, though.
I'd say below.
I say below as well.
Below?
Yeah. I'd say below. I mean, he had that one season where he was able to obviously win a Super Bowl. And so I think for that reason he falls in below because if it wasn't for that Super Bowl,
we'd just say bad.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't even be on this tier maker list. Probably just wouldn't. I mean, he got beat out by Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
That to me, is below average. Jared Goff.
Sorry.
I think he is average.
That's where I kind of lean to.
I would lean towards average. I think there were times when people probably would have put him in the good area, but I truly think that's because of McVay. Yeah, I don't think it's because of Goff.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So,
and it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. It's because we don't really see like two big name quarterbacks do a 1-for-1 swap. So if Jared Goff looks like he's absolutely awful, it really says a lot about how good Stafford is or how good Sean McVay is. So it'll be interesting to see. Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, bad.
He's got to be bad, right?
Bad.
Yeah.
Oh, super bad.
Super bad. Yes. Super bad starring Dwayne Haskins.
Starting Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. Justin Herbert. I know you're a big Herbert believer.
Herbie is man.
How do we not say great?
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
Herbie's great.
He didn't even know he was going to start.
I think he's great. It's tough because we have only seen 1 year, but I think he's did enough in that first year.
Okay, but the Chargers were not in a conversation of like high-powered offense looking like they can make a playoff push. Like nobody was talking about the Chargers that way. The medical staff punctures Taylor's lung, gives Herbert a surprise start, and he balls out and doesn't take his foot off the gas. Like I don't know if you can step into a weirder scenario and still ball out.
Not to mention Eckler's hurt most of the season. He doesn't have a running back. Defenses know they're going to be throwing it, and the man still goes out there and does what he does. He's great talent.
I think you have to say great, and looks like he can. We're going to be talking elite, this time next year.
Yeah. I think it's fair. Taysom Hill. This isn't a fullback list, so I don't know what he's doing on here. And this is just well, this is a tough one because are we talking this is a quarterback tier list, right? So this is how he is as a quarterback.
That's what he's training for right now this offseason.
I'm in between average and below average, so
I would say I think average is fair right now. He's definitely got a skill set that we can at least he's got a good floor, but we haven't really seen him as a quarterback for an entire season. We've seen we saw 4 games where he was a starter, and it was okay. You saw some things you like, you saw some things you didn't like.
okay.
Go for it.
I was going to say, so I'm looking through the statistics behind the games that he started, and he actually put up better numbers than I thought he did. To be honest,
he did.
I think he was getting shit on just because obviously he was not.
Kamara owners were mad at him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They were like, "Well, they got Kamara and Taysom Hill's not giving him the ball. Taysom Hill sucks." Yeah. But the Saints were winning, so
they were.
Football, he doesn't suck.
Well, and what's interesting is and this is just even catching me off guard when I'm looking through this, but week 10, 78% completion percentage. Mm-hmm. Week 11, he gets a crap game, 56%, but then the 2 weeks after that where he starts is 72 and 73%.
Those are strong.
4 touchdowns to 1 interception. Wow, I'm actually kind of shocked that the completion percentage is that high.
Yeah, I'm pro Taysom Hill. So I like that you're having these revelations.
Yeah, I am 100%. I had no idea. I mean, I think I would put him as good for now.
Oh, I love it. That's where I have him.
Okay, I guess I'll lose.
I would have this time.
I would not want Taysom Hill as my team's quarterback. I'll put it that way.
I wouldn't
because you don't know yet.
Yeah,
don't know. I think there's a skill set there. I lean him over Winston, Mr. Throw to the other team. At least Taysom Hill doesn't really do that as often.
So who was the 56% against? What was the team?
Here I can tell you.
If it's not the Bucks,
if it's not the Bucks,
then he's going straight in average.
Not the number 1 defense. I don't want to hear about it.
Let's see.
If this man sounds like the Lions or something, I'm curious who it is.
It was New Orleans. I'm sorry, no, it wasn't. It was.
Wow, that's impressive right there.
It was Denver. Denver.
Denver's got a strong secondary. They didn't have a good team last year, but they do have a good defense, and it got better too. Didn't they take Surtain early?
But I'm also
Denver,
looking.
Oh yeah, Denver did.
Yeah, Denver does have a good secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's probably our boldest move yet is putting Taysom Hill at good for now. And only because
if you're in chat right now, throw out where you would put Taysom. Maybe you'll be our 4th tiebreaker, so I can put him down. It's just look who he sit. Look who
Joe Burrow. I get it.
Taysom Hill. He's sandwiched between Kirk Cousins and Joe Burrow right now.
That's why I'm okay as saying average.
As an analyst.
Average. Put him down on average. Yeah, yeah. Just even seeing him next to Sid from Toy Story, just no, I can't.
All right.
But I do think
I was able to talk you guys out of that madness. Lamar Jackson.
Great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
I think he is elite, but he doesn't have the numbers to back it up as much, and I don't think that's on him. I think Greg Roman's offense is a little limited because he can, for me, elite means that you can just simply do things people can't. And Lamar can do shit people cannot. That's why I kind of want to put Josh Allen up there too. A lot of people can't do what Josh Allen can do, and a lot of people can't do what Lamar Jackson can do. So to me, they offer all of the things you want in a quarterback, and then that little extra of just shit. You kind of break the game with being able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it depends on who we end up throwing up at elite. I mean, if it ends up being, just Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers by themselves, then maybe we will, we can talk about it. But then again, maybe if it's only those two, there's a reason that those are the only 2 up there. So, Jimmy G.
Ugh.
See, let's just. I think he's average.
I think average is fair.
I think average is fair.
I think he gets a bad rap because he plays for the Niners, just like how a quarterback for the Cowboys gets a bad rap when a worse rap than they need. Intelligent fans who have diehard fans, So I think he's going to be starting somewhere after Lance takes over. I think he's good enough too. He's a top 32 quarterback, and in my opinion. Matt Stafford.
I think he's great.
Yeah, I'm in between great and good. I would probably put him in great.
Great.
I'm thinking great.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a great situation in Detroit, and he's still been able to do what he's been able to do. I think this year he's got the potential to be top 5.
I mean, he has no more excuses this year.
Yeah.
If he doesn't ball, then, but I think he will ball.
Better system, better receivers overall.
Yep. Better coaching staff, everything. Literally everything you could possibly think of is better.
Yeah, he's getting a huge
except
upgrade.
Maybe running back now.
True.
I mean,
But that's never been something he's relied on.
Yeah, it's not really a factor when it comes to quarterbacks anyways. So Daniel Jones.
Average.
I think average is fair, and we saw flashes of good.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't trip on that 70-yard touchdown, we're talking good. Yeah.
If he doesn't trip, we're talking elite, man.
We're not saying elite, but I think we're quicker to say he's good just because a lot of people can't do that. But then he tripped, and it's just not average.
Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm
going
great.
Great, but he can do some stuff that people can't do. So he's got a skill set where I think we can talk elite soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great.
That man can scoot around.
Yeah, just little feet.
Dude, just
running. Yeah. Drew Lock.
He's a little below average, but I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I'm
rooting for him.
Yeah, I think
I'm
below
rooting Drew
average.
Lock, but there's nothing there to make me say even average yet.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably put him, like we said, in a time will tell if we did have the ability. Just because maybe he will be average.
Right.
Maybe he'll be good. We haven't seen it.
He is not in good company right now.
Yeah, this one is no questions asked. I think
elite. Next best quarterback.
Yeah, best quarterback in football.
Popped in back on the field, and he's like, "Well, I can keep playing football."
Yeah. Marcus Mariota.
Ooh, it's a polarizing.
This one's interesting. I mean, there's a reason he's Derek Carr's backup, but I mean, he wasn't that bad in Tennessee.
Not bad. He's average to below average. He kind of leans below right now, especially if we want to talk about production he's going to give you.
Yeah. And I'm definitely, I can't put him in, I don't think he's as good as Jimmy G or Jared Goff,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Baker Mayfield. We saw him, we saw him fix a lot of his problems with the interceptions, which is really his biggest thing. He's kind of turned into a pretty good game manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew.
Average. They just got average play out of him for as long as they, were willing to, and then they drafted Trevor Lawrence.
I think he deserves to be starting somewhere this year. If he was better than,
where would you start him?
He could start in Houston if Deshaun doesn't come back.
Strong. I like that.
He could.
He could go to Pittsburgh, sit a year behind Ben, and then start.
Interesting.
I mean, I think that would be a good landing spot for him. I feel like that. I don't know where else.
Battle he'd win right now. Does he go to Detroit and challenge Goff?
I don't think he would beat Jared Goff. No.
Okay.
I
think he
might.
Good.
I was going to say if Mac Jones I know he's doing really good in camp.
Yeah.
But if he comes out, he could probably beat out Cam Newton right now.
Interesting.
That's what I was literally about to say. He goes to New England and he beats Cam.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
I'm pro Cam. Man said he's healthy. I'm rooting for him.
Here's another one. Denver.
Yeah.
I could see him beating out Teddy. I don't know.
I could see that. I'd be very curious. Obviously, if Jacksonville doesn't draft Trevor Lawrence, I'm sure they draft another quarterback. But if they're not put in a position to draft a quarterback, maybe they stick with him. I mean, it's
speaking of Cam Newton, I mean, it's just I see him throw the football, and I'm just like,
we're talking about right now, okay? Because
overall
his career is absolutely great.
Oh, but
that's a disclaimer.
I mean, obviously he was the MVP. I don't know. I'd probably say it's between average and below average for me.
I would say he He was winning games with the Patriots. It's a COVID year. It was wild for everybody. He has the break. He comes back, and it's off the rails. They don't look good anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that he's below average based on the COVID year. That's not fair. Because he still did things that looked good. It just that whole year was kind of a wash.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him get benched for Jarrett Stidham at points, and that wasn't because of COVID. It was because he was just playing that bad.
Yeah. Though the break away from the team during COVID is like that he didn't come back looking good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Lobo? Average, below average?
I'm going below. I mean, we saw him struggle quite a bit and just never able to pick it up. And I mean, hopefully he is healthy, But I mean, I think even watching him throw last year, it was painful to see him attempt anything longer than 15 yards. So
just literally no touch.
Throwing to who though?
Yes, that is a fair question.
N'Keal Harry is the wide receiver one. Jacoby Myers is looking okay in flashes and spurts. Like Cam Newton was working with what?
Yes. I mean, it was bad, but I mean, it was also just like for overthrowing guys by 15 yards and underthrowing guys. It's just Aaron Rodgers,
elite
for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a good mustache picture of him too.
It is. It is a good picture. Josh Rosen,
trash.
Bad.
I feel this dude has had the worst luck, bro. He got
Also
drafted by
attitude,
Arizona.
I think your attitude's your ceiling.
Bro, have you seen a picture of him in his dorm room in the hot tub? Come on, man. That's at least enough to put him below average.
I don't know, man.
That picture alone.
He got drafted to the worst organization in football, who was horribly coached, horribly managed, had literally nothing, played bad because he's a rookie and he had to play immediately. And then they're like, okay, it's Kyler. And then he gets shipped. I don't know. I just think he never really got a fair shot. I mean, he's definitely played bad. No, I'm not saying he wasn't bad.
I would say like even the numbers he's put out, like I can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I haven't seen anything that I'm like, well, we'll see. We'll see in the future.
He's given literally zero reason to not put him in bad, but I just wanted to throw it out there just in case he's listening to the show. Josh, I sympathize with you. Ben Roethlisberger.
Overall, I would say great, but right now, good. You go average. I mean,
I go average.
He still slings for a lot of yards. Like
well,
the Steelers are always in competition. Like they're always trying to make a playoff push. They don't play easy teams.
Yeah, I'm going good.
I think he's good.
I'm going good. Just based on hopefully that elbow has gotten a little better. You could tell last year it was still lingering all season. I think even before last year, I mean, to your point, John, he's slinging that shit left and right, dude.
All the time.
And now that they have Najee, yes, maybe they don't throw as much, but Najee can catch the ball too. So I'm a huge Najee guy. So
me too.
Yeah. I mean, he does have the weapons, but it's like if he doesn't have, I mean, how much of it is just him having so many weapons? He looks good. I don't know.
And his 2020
Mason Rudolph never looked good.
Rudolph was very bad. Yeah.
His 2020 season stats are nuts. If you guys actually,
they're good.
They're good. But the thing that shocks me is the man had half an elbow, and he had 608 attempts. That's more than Josh Allen. I didn't think he threw that much. So that's bizarre. I think with that he falls with good because the opportunity's there. So
fair enough. Matty Ice, Matt Ryan.
That's a good one.
To me, it's between good and great.
I think you have to say good.
Good. He's very close to the great, but I think he's good.
I think the times in that we are considering him great, where was the Shanahan running the offense. Like ever since then, it's just like they've been kind of a stale offense, and he throws for there's a lot of yards, not a lot of touchdowns, not a lot of game winning stuff. Yeah. So, he's good.
All right, fair enough. Ryan Tannehill.
I really do like the comeback story. Is he great? I think he's good.
I think he's in
He's
between.
just what you need, right? Like, he's just what you need.
Should I just throw a tier in here and call it Ryan Tannehill? And
Yeah, just like right in the middle, like
yeah,
like just right in the middle. I think what's preventing him from being great is actually the fact that he's got a great running back there.
I mean,
So I think that is what prevents him. I think he's very, very, very good. Probably like the top of this list. He's right up there. If I'm looking at the goods, it's like, yeah, him, Joe Burrow, and then, Cousins. I'm looking at those three guys on the good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky.
Bad, right? That's bad. He's not.
I mean, he beat Nick Foles. Beat out Nick Foles for a job.
I think he's below average.
All right.
I think Mitch has the opportunity, and obviously he just went to Buffalo on a 1-year deal. Josh Allen, unless I'm not even going to put it into existence, but unless he's got a chance in Buffalo, which he doesn't, then he's taking this year as kind of just to learn as much as he can from a guy like Allen who made vast improvements.
Yeah.
He's gonna be looking for a starting job next season somewhere. So
yep,
he's given some glimpses.
Yeah, he has given glimpses. Tua. This one's tough because we haven't seen much, but
he's got a skill set that's I say would at least be good, right? Like he's pretty athletic dude.
Lower tier good.
Definitely
and obviously, like lower tier good. And I would say the hip injury is like it's nothing to fuck around with. Like a hip injury is it's tough, and quarterbacks use their hips for everything. I used to play baseball all the time, and they say throw with your hips, you're batting with your hips, you're doing everything. Same thing as a quarterback. So, yeah.
I agree, and we saw. I mean, the hip obviously did enough to where he pretty much couldn't work out. Like he was playing so skinny, and we've seen him put a lot of muscle on. So hopefully we'll see the best out of Tua this year. Sean Watson.
I think you say elite.
I think he's elite. Yeah.
If we're not talking about legal accusations.
Yes, this is just skill on the football field.
Yeah. Damn it, he's so
disclaimer.
He's so good.
Yeah, he falls in the elite and then in the masseuse parlor categories. So
yeah. Carson Wentz.
That's a tough one.
I think he's good.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
He's
shown bad, but he's also shown elite. Like he was the MVP.
That's what I'm saying. Like he was MVP before he gets hurt, and then they go to the Super Bowl. Like he was playing awesome.
Yeah. And you want to talk lack of weapons? Yeah. Like Travis Fulgham was his one for so long. So yeah.
And like he could absolutely put up some really good numbers in Indy.
He could.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Elite.
Yeah.
If I'm calling him elite as a 49ers fan living in Washington State, I mean, that just shows you how good Russell Wilson is. He's going
to know better than us, dude. How many daggers has he put in our hearts when we think we've got him wrapped up on 3rd and long? We think we've got contained.
He runs and
he breaks it and delivers a dime for the conversion, dude. How many times have we seen that? Oh, he's so good. Oh, I hate him. He's elite.
What a better way to end this.
I don't hate him, but he's so fucking good.
Then
Jameis Winston, I'm pretty low on. I'd say below average.
I think he's average. I mean, this man threw like 5,000 yards. He might have thrown 30 interceptions, but
he's average.
He's just playing hero ball does not do a lot for me. Like, I get you threw a lot of yards, but you did that because you threw 2 picks in the first half.
Yeah, 2 pick sixes already.
Yeah, like in you're fucking playing hero ball to just try and stay in a game. It's bad for football. Great for fantasy football.
Yeah.
I understand why fantasy people like Jameis Winston. Like he's still giving you 20+ points week to week, even with the 3 picks.
I mean, it's just like nobody in these 2 tiers can throw for a 5,000 yard season.
Fair.
They might throw the interceptions and then they're going to throw for 2,000 yards.
Fair.
So at least he does that. So
I mean, Cam could, but that's just because I am pro Cam.
I don't know. Do you think Cam could throw for 5,000 yards? Like this, like current Cam? Like in like a perfect world, like the stars just align for Cam. You think he can do it?
If he's truthful when he says he's healthy and his version of healthy is what I think it means, yes. But if it's not, if he's not healthy, no, I don't.
Oof.
I just don't think they're going to pass the ball enough. He's not going to pass the ball enough.
You can't bet against freaks.
Did he throw for 5,000 yards when he was the MVP?
No.
No,
they were
I highly
using him
doubt
as-
it. I bet
they
you
were
didn't even
using
go
him
for
as
4.
as the rushing weapon way more.
No,
It's different.
his MVP season he threw for 3,800.
And then, but like rushed for what?
Rushed for, let's see. I mean,
What year was he MVP? 2015, right?
2015. Yeah. He
3,800 yards. Yeah.
3,800.
Passing. 35 touchdowns, man.
Yeah, rushing in 2015, he ran for 636, and then ran it for another 10.
It's just not like what Cam Newton does. The Patriots wouldn't even ask him to do that.
Yeah.
So
That's true. I get that.
But that is going to do it for the show. Lobo, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute blast, man. We'll have to do this again. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. And we will see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Sounds like football, baby.
Feels great, baby.